There's this guy named...
Talk about how Kirsten Dunst is so pretty in the first movie, and then I don't know what happens in 2 and 3. Like, she ages like 9.5 years in that span of time. And I'm like, what happened, girl?
All right, first misogynistic take of 2025.
Yeah, it took 30 minutes.
She's still a beautiful woman, but she ages visibly so much in a way that I feel like I don't think they kind of navigate her makeup the way they do or I guess she visibly aged more than Toby and freaking Harry did.
I'm gonna be honest.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with aging.
I have to watch those movies again to. I personally, I hadn't noticed. I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't notice either.
Yeah,
I watched 1 and 2 recently. Quite recently.
I watch those movies all the time. I feel like she's just not really my type of person. So like, I don't really. I've always thought she was like, okay, she's like, all right, this is reasonably like, this is somebody like who would live next door to. She looked like a real person. You know what I mean? Yeah, so like, she didn't look like unbelievably hot to me. She never looked like.
I like that. I like that because Mary Jane in the animated series was a little bit too sexy.
It's ridiculous.
I think the point is that she's supposed to be a baddie, and then Peter's just getting Peter's pulling baddies, and it's like.
It's fucking ridiculous.
This nigga's a dork.
But then they drew him like he's the captain of the football team.
No. We're talking about the Spider-Man. We're not look. Animated Peter Parker.
But that's what I'm saying.
Animated Peter Parker is bigger than Spider-Man.
Yes, we've covered that many years ago.
It's big. It's like, what's going on? And then Spider-Man's bigger than Eddie Brock, and then Eddie Brock is bigger as Venom, but not as Peter Parker. It's like, why do you have that frame?
Yes.
What is going on here?
The inconsistency is crazy.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
But just like
part of it, he's in high school too, which is crazy.
That's the whole
part
thing.
Of that show, he's in high school, and it's like, why are you built like a linebacker, dude?
That's why I always thought, like, even the way that Mary Jane was depicted in that too, I was just like, this is so ridiculous. That this works so much better in the Sam Raimi version. It just works so much better. Sure, they look older, but that's what everybody did back in the day. High schoolers looked clearly. I mean, it got better over the years because
it's because teenagers couldn't act, because every teenager that was on TV was in like every real teenager that was on TV was on like. They were on like a fucking Disney Channel show or something where they were like, where their acting was like theatrical and just like, you can't fucking act this way, man.
That's a good point.
So I mean, I don't know. I like that the Raimi movies are just full of people who just like look like people. Like nobody in that movie, nobody in those movies looks like a movie star. And I think that works for it works for Spider-Man specifically.
Yeah. I also understand. I understand as an adult that Topher Grace, even though not the best choice, but I still understood that the Eddie Brock character makes more sense as someone who, because if you look at Eddie Brock and the way that that normally drawn, like it's hard to feel bad or sorry for him in any capacity because he just looks like a scumbag.
You're not supposed to. Are you supposed to feel bad for him?
You're kind of supposed to at least understand why he hates fucking Spider-Man or Peter Parker. You know, like he hates Spider-Man. So you at least want to like, poor fucking guy, man. He can't get a break. But when I look at Eddie Brock and every other, I'm just like, fucking idiot. I'm more like this.
I can see that because for me, it's like Eddie did it to himself. For me, when I was like, oh, Eddie, he did this to himself. This is his fault. I think Peter was a little brutal. He asked Peter to not do something. He was like, loser, and he went and did it anyway.
Peter Parker went up to him and said, loser in canon. And then he I'm pretty sure.
He fucked him. He blasted a web shot in his fucking head and gave him a concussion.
I think Topher Grace works as Eddie Brock. I don't think he works as Venom.
He doesn't work as Venom at all.
I think it's because they fucked up the Venom, really. Like Venom should have been bigger. He shouldn't have peeled his face back. He shouldn't have had like Topher Grace's voice.
Yeah,
all sorts of things. But I think Topher Grace does a good job as like that as a nega Peter in that.
Yes.
Context.
Just in that.
He fits.
Everything else is not
Raimi-fied version of Spider-Man's world well.
Yeah,
right.
Where it's like this guy is. He's just a sniveling piece of shit to Peter Parker's like trying to be a decent person, you know?
Well, bro. Also, imagine for a moment, like genuinely, like sincerely, like in a modern context, imagine a guy like Eddie Brock, where he's built so stupid, and he goes to a newspaper, it's like, "Hi, I'm trying to be a photographer."
You're like, when?
What the fuck are you talking about? Well, Don't be a firefighter. Yeah, what are you doing?
He was like more or less like he was trying to be like, what was it? He was supposed to be like he was like a TMZ kind of. That's what he was. He wasn't like.
No TMZ people are.
I know what you mean, but he's like one of the like breaking news. I find a story. I figure shit out. Not like a private eye, but like along that side for news. If I don't know what the word is called.
Like a private detective or like a
not exactly, but the kind of person that like breaks like a something like a frontline reporter about things or something like that. I'm not getting the right word. I'm probably like mixing other stuff, but he's like the kind of guy that like breaks really serious stories or he investigates really serious stories and he works for like news outlets. And then it's like he wanted to. He's like a fucking juiced up, clearly roid-headed guy. Clearly roided out. Like in the first comic he's in, he's like throwing up 800 pounds like it's fucking Christmas. And I'm like, bro, what is this?
The way that Eddie looks is he got into he's like Rico. He's like Rico in Starship Troopers that joined for pussy. You know what I mean? Like,
literally.
I feel like Eddie Brock, like that's the only way he gets into photography in any shape or form, because it's like, bro, look at you. You specialize in pushing heavy weight, and you could probably get a decent career off of that. And then you're like, no, I'm gonna take pictures of fucking dumb shit. You're like, okay, man, you can't even crawl into small spaces and get up. You can't even do things that would make it better for you to take photos and like
he
in
would
secret.
Just bend small places in a bigger place he can get
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he works.
Yeah,
but
we're just thinking about Topher doing the pleading, begging God, like
to kill Spider-Man.
Dude, we did that on like New Year's. We were talking about that. How like he went to a house of worship, right? And he threw himself in front of the Almighty. You know, he threw himself down on his knees in front of the all-encompassing universe, and he was like, "Yo, don't get me a different job. Don't save a life. Don't extend my life. Give me riches. Kill that dude. Take that guy's life."
Yeah.
And it's like
he didn't go to some weird satanic bullshit temple, or even like even though they're like actually atheists and stuff, but he just misunderstands. He's like, oh, can who do I summon? How do I summon Baphomet? I don't understand. How do I do this?
What makes it funny is that in the context of like Marvel proper, he knows there are gods. Like Thor exists.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They know about aliens, and this guy's so deviant. He's so dastardly that he's like.
That's a good point.
Hey, Christ of Nazareth.
Hey, Christ of Nazareth. Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a solid real quick and kill this guy?
Can you kill this probably Jewish boy?
Yeah. Anyway.